I am lying in a hospital bed. The room is quiet. The machines hum softly, like a heartbeat I cannot control. I am 101 years old. It's my story.
I am not telling you a story to inspire you. I am not here to impress. I am telling you what it feels like to run out of time while you are still alive.
Control. I am 101 years old, and I have nothing left to prove. I am not telling you a story to inspire you. I am not here to impress. I am telling you what it feels like to run out of time while you are still alive. I once knew a man who moved to another country when he was 50. Finally living, he wrote to me in a message. I read it, and something sharp stabbed my chest. Not jealousy. Not exactly. Something quieter. Something accusing. Because I realized then I had spent decades planning to live later. Always later. I grew up in a Christian household. My parents believed in faith, in kindness, in doing good while you have strength. They reminded me of it constantly. I believed them. Of course I did. I nodded. I promised myself I would live that way. And yet, I postponed. Later I would help someone. Later I would fix a relationship. Later I would care more. Later I would live with courage. Later I would follow the life I imagined for myself. But later never came. At 20, I worked to be responsible. I focused on school, on finding a good job, on saving money. At 25, I thought about adventure, travel, experiences, but there was always something that felt safer to do first. I waited. At 30, I prioritized safety. I bought a house. I took the career path that everyone called stable. At 40, I sought approval. From friends, from family, from colleagues. I made decisions because they would not disapprove.
I learned the quiet art of blending into a world that asked nothing too demanding from me. At 50, I comforted myself that there was still time to live. Decades passed quietly. A house, a retirement fund, some recognition, reasonable steps. Nothing wrong in theory, nothing wrong in the eyes of the world, but in reality, nothing truly mine grew there.
Not really. I remember my 30s vividly. I had friends who were bold, restless. They traveled. They took risks. They started families on their own terms, built businesses, made choices that seemed reckless at the time, and beautiful. And I watched from a distance, afraid. Not of failure, not even of judgment. Afraid of being lonely. Afraid of what would happen if I stepped outside the path that was safe. I remember a Sunday morning in my 40s. I was sitting on my couch, staring at the ceiling, thinking about church, about my faith, about the sermons I had once loved. I had always said, next week I will volunteer. Next month I will give more. Next year I will live with courage. That was my life, a constant postponement. And somehow, it felt normal. Until it didn't.
I remember my 50s and 60s, quiet houses, vacant evenings, time spent counting bills, checking emails, doing what was expected. Safe, reasonable, acceptable schmelt. My faith had been shy, referred so many times that it no longer existed.
Realized that most of my friends were gone. The ones who had been bold, who had dared, they were either far away or they had died. And I was left with a house, a bank account, a stack of papers. My life was quiet, yes, but quiet is not the same as peace. Quiet is not the same as fulfillment. It is an echo of what you were too cautious to claim. Now I lie here at 101, and the weight of all those years presses down softly, relentlessly. I look around this hospital room and see nothing but my own reflection in a small window. The machines hum. The walls are pale. Time has run out. And I am left to reckon with a truth that is unbearably simple. The life I waited for, I never lived it. I am not afraid of death. I am afraid of the moments I missed, moments I traded for safety, for approval, for the illusion that there would always be time later. All those years I saved, all that careful planning. And for what? A retirement fund. A quiet house. A life I could describe, but not feel. I think about the little chances I ignored. A walk with a stranger that could have become a friendship. A call to my mother that I postponed because I was busy. An apology I never made because it was uncomfortable. Hands that could have helped someone but were kept idle. A heart that could have loved more fully but was hidden behind caution. And I remember the feeling of realization, not loud, not dramatic, quiet, almost invisible. The moment when you understand that life was slipping through your hands while you were planning for the next decade. When you realize that fear has quietly stolen decades of experience, and no one will notice except you. I have learned something too late. Living is not about grand gestures. It is about claiming your days while they are still yours. about breathing in the small moments, about noticing, about risking love and kindness and courage while you still can. But I learned it too late, and that is all I can share with you now. Not advice, not hope, just a quiet truth from someone who has counted a century and more. Time is burning, even while you watch this. The minutes will pass no matter what you do. Listen to them. Listen to yourself. Don't wait for later, because later has a way of never arriving. And if you remember nothing else, remember this: your life does not wait, and neither should you.